Were the top two teams in the CFL and battled each other in a couple of championship classics in the final two Grey Cups of the 90s.
Tonight, as they get set to meet again, this battle is to avoid the basement.
At Ivor Wynn, it's 18 degrees. It'll be a windy one. West at 30, gusting to 60 km/h.
No doubt that Jim Barker plans to put his stamp on this football team. Last week, after going back-to-back halftime leads, Barker Stamps finally found a way to win.
And this already feels like Ron Lancaster's longest season as head coach of the Tiger Cats. Not much has gone right so far, but maybe tonight is the night as he gets Danny McManus back, and the Tiger Cats will begin at the 45-yard line. First play from scrimmage for Danny McManus in 2003. And just in time with the Ticats desperate for a victory tonight. The numbers on Danny Mac last year: too many interceptions, not enough TDs.
Well, and this is a big lift for the entire football team. Both sides of the ball, whether you're playing defense, special teams, or on the offensive side. When you get your star back, you get your leader back, gives that huge lift to the locker room. We'll see if it pays off early in this game. They need a good start, without a doubt.
Ticats on first down. Danny McManus swings it out. It's Davis sliding out of the backfield, and he's across midfield. Stopped by Kelly Malvo, and here's the way they'll line up. McManus has to count on slot back Archie Amerson, and the running of Troy Davis. The addition of Chuck Raynock at left tackle makes a huge difference to the Hamilton front five. Chase is a great name for a tackle, not so great for a safety, I suggest.
You don't have to chase if you're a free safety, but they need that tackle position to be a strong one, and they're hoping that they will get some help from Chase Raynock.
Troy Davis has the first down, a 13-yard gain, and then fumbles there. And the Stampeders have the turnover as Troy Davis picked up a first down the first time he got his hands on the ball, and then bobbled it here.
Once again, a nightmare start for the Hamilton Tiger Cats, because in the game against Edmonton, where they bounced back from a huge and embarrassing loss to the Toronto Argonauts, this was the first play of that game. Troy Davis put it on the ground. Ended up Edmonton recovered, went down and scored. The Hamilton Tiger Cats, so far in 3 games this season, have put just 6 points on the board in the first quarter.
So the Stampeders take over with a first down right near midfield. Marcus Crandall handing off to the newcomer, another fumble, and the Ticats may be going right back to offense.
Now they got a break. Got to break early.
McCullough, in his first touch, fumbles the ball for the Calgary Stampeders, so I suppose fair is fair.
Saladin McCullough, his first touch didn't last very long. Touched his fingers, and within a few seconds hit the ground, and it was definitely out before he went down and his knee touched. That's a fumble, a Hamilton ball. They catch a break early.
Johnny Scott playing extremely well in the last game, recovering a couple of forced fumbles, and Scott coming up with that. So here are the Tiger Cats. First and 10 at the Stampeder 52. Davis has it again, and he's got a couple. 12
sacks so far this season for the Calgary front four, led by Joe Fleming, who has 5. That's the best in the CFL after 3 weeks. In the secondary, Hassan Proverbs will start for the 3rd time at free safety. Kelly Malvo and Jason Bray are the halfbacks. Joe Fleming off to a great start. 5 sacks in just 3 games, and that leads the CFL.
On second down, McManus puts it up for the first time and can't connect. Looking for Tyree Davis.
McManus went down just to test out that knee, and McManus went down in the preseason with the knee injury. And he was so tired of hearing over and over again, maybe next week. He basically went into Ron Lancaster's office and said, I'm playing. He's definitely not 100%, but who is when you're playing football in the regular season?
Here's the new kid to kick. His name is Jason Curry, with Paul Osbaldiston out of the lineup with a muscle tear. Nice beginning with the wind at his back. Gets it inside the 5. is McGarity. Almost down, and now he is wrapped up there and tossed to the turf by Marcus Spencer. 13 on the return, 46 on the punt.
The CFL Canadian Player of the Week, brought to you by Discount Car and Truck Rentals.
Moose Jaw, Saskatchewan native Scott Divert had an outstanding game last week against Ottawa. Divert caught 2 passes for 65 yards while racking up another 41 yards on the ground. He even threw this 12-yard touchdown pass to quarterback Kevin Federick.
The Canadian of the Week, brought to you by Discount Car and Truck Rentals. Call 310-CARS.
Interesting.
Well, it balanced out. This was the Hamilton Tiger Cats. They got the ball first. Troy Davis really didn't even get the handoff clean from Danny McManus. The timing was off. And then the very next play, Marcus Crandall to Saladin McCullough, the newcomer in the backfield. He puts it on the ground. So they give one back to each other. That evens out, and they start again.
And the Stampeders begin this drive at the 16, first down. Crandall has a connection. A flag is down, and Crandall still celebrating the completion. McCullough is new in the backfield. Crysdale is the workhorse up front. And Childress very happy to be left tackle with Jay McNeil back in the lineup.
Repeat first down.
Penalty was against Calgary, so that gain on the outside will not stand. And they'll repeat first down, 5 yards back. It'll be 1st and 15.
Stampeders back at the 11. Crandall out near first down territory and should have it at the 30-yard line as Saunders got over to make the tackle.
Defensively, Marcus Spencer starts at middle linebacker for Scott Coe. He's out with an injured hamstring. Defensive front 7 have 11 sacks. That's second in the CFL. There's your secondary. Kyle Walters plays the safety for Rob Hitchcock, who's still out with a broken arm. And Brandon Hamilton got off to a good start in game 1 with 2 interceptions. And be a test for Marcus Spencer in the middle. He's only 225. Playing middle linebacker.
Starting lineups brought to you by Tums. Tums tackles heartburn fast. McCullough has positive yardage, and he's stopped by Troy Saunders.
Saladin McCullough is one of the guys that Jim Barker worked with in the XFL, and he says, I've gone to war with this guy. He's a professional. He comes to work every day with his clipboard ready to go, ready to make sure he gets better, and I have no problem with McCullough in the ball game. In fact, he loves having him. And when Lawrence Phillips becomes healthy again, there's a chance the Stampeders could go with both Phillips and McCullough in the backfield. So it'll be fun to watch him tonight.
That'll be 6 or 7 games away. Gain is 9, 2nd and 1. McCullough again turns the corner. He'll have lots for the first down as he spins to the 45.
You get a quick example of what he's capable of, and Marcus Spencer's the guy who's going to be head-to-head with McCullough in that middle. And what the Ticats are hoping for is the guys up front. You see Spencer showed blitz, slid across, scraping to the ball, and as he steps up, did everything but wrap up McCullough on the play.
He bounced right off
and he got
Spencer,
3-4 extra yards out of it. Interesting matchup, the newcomer McCullough versus Spencer. First start, middle linebacker.
Gain is 6, first down. Stampeders. Crandall looks deep, and a flag is down. Saunders was covering deep. There are flags back at the line of scrimmage as well.
Saunders did look back to the ball, but there was a lot of pushing and shoving going on at the end of that play. Officials will sort it all out. Here's the end of that play. This is right at the very end, and Saunders was looking at the ball there. There was a lot of pushing and shoving going on as they got to that point.
Ricky Lloyd, the intended receiver.
Forward pass interference. Calgary, number 81, offside on Hamilton. The replay, first down.
Ricky Lloyd was doing the pushing in the back, and the angle that we saw was in front of Troy Saunders, so you really didn't get a chance to see. But Here's one more look at it. You see the pushing and the grabbing. You see Lloyd's left hand has got the name tag. He's really covering up the D-E-R and the S there.
Yes.
So if the officials can't read D-E-R-S, they go, okay, that's it. The flag is coming out. I can't read the name, yeah.
Ricky Lloyd playing in his second game.
Once again, the Stampeders early in this game facing, first and 15. A couple of penalties. McNeil has to go off. He just got back in the line.
First and 15. Crandall gets some heat. Montfort is chasing, and no one is home in row 2. Marcus Crandall, 46% as a passer in the first 2 games that he played so far.
Joe Montfort is going to go one-on-one with Fred Childress, a matchup we'll watch closely in this game. Watch 53. He steps up the field, and he will often take an inside move, something that the tackles aren't normally used to. They believe that those ends always have contained, so they try and run them to the outside. Montfort has the quickness to go inside and still get containment. That'll be an interesting matchup tonight.
Second and 15. Pump fake. Crandall looks to the far side. No catch. Intended for Darnell McDonald.
Definitely right-handed so far when you look at Marcus Crandall, who's playing in this game because Kevin Federick is injured. And Federick led the team to their first win of the season. There's been some quarterback, say controversy, but many quarterback discussions in Calgary.
They have been talking about the quarterback situation there, but Federick showed that he was mentally tough enough to win a ball game last week. Played really a gritty game. Duncan O'Mahony into the breeze. Davis to return, and I don't think he gained an inch. 34-yard punt into the stiff breeze here at Iverwin. Willie Fells leading the tackler. Down there at the Ticat bench.
Well, guys, of course, off to their worst start since 1997. The return of Danny Mack certainly has been a big boost to the Ticats, certainly in the locker room. And as you can see here on the field, they're pretty pumped to have him back. But keep in mind that he hasn't taken many snaps in the preseason, has missed the first 3 games of the season, and is coming off his worst career year in the CFL in 13 years. So while it might be a big boost if he has a big game tonight, it'll be an equally big boost to Danny Mack himself, guys.
And here are the Tiger Cats with a first down as Danny Mack goes deep down the near side, almost connecting with his target that time. The coverage by Davis Sanchez a little too tight on Larry Davis, getting his first start for the Tiger Cats here tonight. This guy has got speed to burn and has looked impressive in returns for Hamilton so far.
And you see how Davis Sanchez sits on the pattern. He really never gets in a back pedal or has to come out of one because he was lined up at about 12 yards. But this is what Danny McManus will bring. He is going to attempt to throw that one anyway. He saw Davis Sanchez in pretty good position, but he's confident enough in Larry Davis. He knows the speed that you mentioned, John, and he's going to throw it up there and hope his receiver comes down with it.
Ticats 2nd and 10 at the Hamilton 38. McManus pumps once, looks deep on this one too. And no chance to connect with Tony Akins. Kelly Malvo covering for Calgary.
That goes down as a 2-and-out for the Hamilton offense, but it's not necessarily a bad 2-and-out, simply because Danny McManus forced the ball, went deep with it, and that'll send a message to the Calgary secondary.
A little tester?
Yeah, a little tester. We're going to see if we can get in behind you. We're going to run down, and you better get out of your back pedal. Now, what Danny McManus is hoping for is that as that game progresses, that he will get more room for his receivers because of plays like that.
McGarity is deep. Jason Curry's punt.
Hands in now.
Bouncing out around the 33. Still nothing on the board. It'll be 1st and 10 for Jim Barker's Stampeders when we return. Kevin Federick got the win for Calgary last week. Didn't throw a touchdown, but caught one. Here's Lisa Hillary at the Stampeder bench.
Thanks very much, John. We spoke with Coach Barker today, and he said he would not hesitate using Marcus Crandall and Kevin Federick all year if he has to. He will do what it takes to win. Now, he has seen good things from both quarterbacks, but until he sees one step up and lead this team, he will use both. Kevin Federick does have a bruised toe right now, but if Barker doesn't like what he sees from Crandall, don't be surprised if Kevin Federick goes in this game, guys.
McCullough has 4 yards, and that's not Barker's style, the 2-quarterback system, is it?
Well, he wants one of these quarterbacks, like Lisa mentioned, to step up. And Federick certainly did that to some degree in the game that they led the Stampeders to a win, played a very gritty, tough football game. He took a bunch of hits. He ran and made plays when he had to and found a way to win. Now he's wanting Marcus Crandall to do the same tonight with Federick on the sideline.
3 receivers to the near side for 2nd and 5, Calgary. No one home. Marcus Crandall
that was
heads to the sidelines.
And Marcus Crandall pointed to himself. That was a read pattern from Wayne McGarity. Basically, McGarity was going down the field, and he either turns in or out, depending on where the defensive back is lined up. Crandall thought he was going to go out. McGarity turned in. Helps us out a ton when the football players point to themselves when they made the mistake. So we can, yeah. Marcus Crandall was the guy there that read that one incorrectly.
Duncan O'Mahony standing back near his 22. Kicking into the breeze in the opening quarter. One hops that one and gets it up down to the 40. Davis lost it. Tiger Cats are all around, and Hamilton should have recovered that.
Well, and it'll be no yards anyway, and Davis was trying to catch that in the air, so it'll be the 15-yard version.
Well, Danny McManus is not the only injury that these Tiger Cats have gone through.
Well, and it was in the preseason. I mean, Rob Hitchcock early on, right there, breaks his arm on that play. It looked innocent. Hitchcock has been pretty much injury-free. And then on a quarterback sneak in the preseason, same game, Danny McManus goes down.
And Paul Osbaldiston last week, so he's been replaced. The quarterback who started last week, Pete Gonzalez, took one in the ribs. He is okay to play and dressed as the backup tonight, but McManus is in the game as the starter. Davis escaping for the Tiger Cats, gets a block, and is forced out near the 25. Anthony Pryor over to get to Troy Davis, and it's a 33-yard gain. Huge play for the Tiger Cats early.
Well, it's more than the team's average after 3 games offensively when you talk about running the ball. After 3 games, the Hamilton Tiger Cats were averaging 41.7 yards per game rushing. He just rips off a 33-yarder. He's almost there already in one run.
83 yards for Davis on the season. So the running game hasn't worked effectively for the Tiger Cats, but that's part of the reason the passing game hasn't worked well as well. Here's Davis again, broke one, and then there are 3 Stampeders on top of him.
Well, they really have to, John, get that running game going in the balance because of what's happened in 3 games. When you look at their offensive production, or their, I should say, lack of offensive production. I just mentioned their averages rushing the ball at 41.7, and when you're talking about their average passing, that's also last in the league. And when you look at stats like this, last in 9 teams, and you got to get something going offensively, and that's where they try and get Troy Davis involved, and of course having their starting quarterback and former MVP back. That's when you hope that you'll see better numbers.
McManus on 2nd and 9 deep in Calgary territory, and he missed the target there on the near side.
And boy, was Tony Aikens wide open.
Larry Davis was the intended receiver there.
Danny McManus threw a timing pattern to the outside. If he holds the ball just for 1 more second, Tony Aikens is doing the touchdown dance. Look at 81 right in the middle here. He's going to run a little corner pattern, and look at that, right in the back of the end zone. He is wide open. Now, it's easy to notice that from up here with no one rushing you. Danny McManus threw that one in a hurry and got it out of there.
Jason Curry will try his first field goal in the CFL. Plenty of leg, and he's 1 for 1. Perfect so far for Jason Curry in relief of Paul Osbaldiston. Jason Curry on the Tiger Cats practice roster all season long. He's a gifted athlete, a pass receiver at St. Mary's as well as the kicker.
And what I loved about is reading some comments in the newspaper from Jason Curry saying, you know, I hope it comes down to me kicking a field goal to win the game.
Stampeders continue this. I thought McCullough might have been out, but he's in. Troy Saunders. Marcus Spencer forced him out at last.
Well, he walked the tightrope right down that sideline, and he looked awful close to the white stripe. He's going to catch a little swing pass out of the backfield. Good timing on the throw from Marcus Crandall, and McCullough just tiptoes right down that white stripe, and he never, ever steps out until he's pushed out at the end of the play right there.
A 32-yard gain for McCullough, who tiptoed down the sidelines to get the Stampeders inside the Ticat 45. So he gets it again. Tougher running this time. Chris Schelling making the stop there. And McCullough gets his chance because Lawrence Phillips is out for at least 7 weeks.
Broken hand last week versus the Ottawa Renegades in Calgary Stampeders' first win of the season, and it was actually Lawrence Phillips' best game so far this year. Bad luck for Phillips. You can see the left hand swollen up, and he says it'll be 4 weeks. Team doctors are saying about 6. McCullough has a good game and could cut down to 3 in Lawrence Phillips' mind.
Early movement and flags are down. Crandall has a target. Completes near the 30, and it'll be enough for a first down if it stands. Crandall hoping it's going against the Tiger Cats. Darnell McDonald, a couple of catches already.
Yeah, he comes into the game, 5 catches, 63 yards, yet to find the end zone.
Offside, Calgary, number 82. Repeat second down.
So that's Don Blair getting an early start, and McCullough on the sidelines catching his breath.
Last year with the 49ers, and like we mentioned, had almost a 5-yard average in the XFL with Jim Barker, and a big game in the final. Over 150 yards rushing in the finals.
This will be 2nd and 10. Crandall gets some heat from Montfort and got it away. Blair makes the catch. Still standing as he crossed the 25 and spins to the 21. Kyle Walters making the tackle, and Joe Montfort in form after a solid game last week.
Yeah, let's go back to that matchup. There's Montfort in that stand-up, and Fred Childress, he's got that rock back position, that left leg drop back, so he can get that good step backwards. And Montfort with his quickness goes around the horn, right around the corner, and gets his hand on Crandall. But Crandall keeps composed, delivers a strike to Don Blair.
Stampeders looking to answer the field goal by the Tiger Cats. Another first down. Crandall himself dragged down from behind. Lamont Bryant catching the Calgary quarterback.
You know, and I think if you were asked Jim Barker, they'd like to see Marcus Crandall do a little bit more of this, and it's something that Kevin Federick did very well in the game versus the Ottawa Renegades, and that's just to occasionally run the football when you have to. Little play action, gets the corner, and shows the speed, picking up 4 or 5 yards.
Stampeders now at the Tiger Cat 18. Flag down. Crandall escapes again. Momentarily got it away. Barely got it away, and McCullough comes up with a catch. But there was a flag well before the completion.
Immediately after the play ended, Joe Montfort pointed, it's going against Calgary. And he even knew the holding signal.
Holding, Calgary, number 64. Repeat second down.
That's Jeff Pilon.
Jeff Pilon, and guess who he's going against? It's Joe Montfort at the top of your line, number 64, and watch how he makes that inside move again. You see the big left hand on the outside of the shoulders. Finally lets go of him, but it's too late. You're going to get a nice look at it right here. If you keep your hands inside on the 5 and the 3 as an offensive lineman, you're okay. You get your hands outside those shoulder pads, they're throwing that yellow flag.
5th penalty against the Stampeders. This is 2nd and 17 now. Back a little closer to the 30. Crandall shotgun. Receiver far side. He's got McGarity, and another penalty marker comes down. McGarity wrapped up by Brandon Hamilton.
Ticats showed blitz, went with blitz on the play. They had both Sean Woodson and Chris Schelling up on the line of scrimmage. Right up here, you can see even the secondaries involved. There's Schelling in the middle. He's coming off the edge. Secondary and bump and run. Schelling.
Hamilton, number 30, repeat second down.
And it was Schelling that goes offside. He got a little anxious on the blitz. Nice read, though, by Marcus Crandall. He recognized the blitz. He saw both linebackers coming and dropped it off to McGarity.
So another second down for the Stampeders, this time 2nd and 12. Ball spotted at the Ticat 23. Crandall feeling the heat, looks to the end zone, has a target, and the coverage was too tight. Sean Woodson getting a hand on the ball.
Well, Crandall bought a little bit of time on the outside because of that inside move from Mumford. We've seen it 3 times now. Watch one more time. This time Fred Childress sees it coming. Upside move and back into the middle. Watch how he reads it now. Childress steps outside, and there goes Mumford into the middle. That gets Crandall outside of the pocket, allows him to throw the ball, but the coverage too tight downfield by Sean Woodson.
A little underthrown, too, as you look at it on the replay. Ricky Lloyd appeared to be the closest Stampeder to the ball. Now here's Mark McLaughlin, perfect on the season, 7 for 7, his longest from 33, definitely within range, spotted at the 30 here, and that string continues, 8 for 8 for Mark McLaughlin. But a good year for the kickers.
Well, it really has. I mean, most of the kickers are over 80%, and Curtis Head from BC and McLaughlin heading into this week were perfect. And you don't play 3-4 games and are perfect in really anything. It's a good start. Now McLaughlin hasn't tried a whole bunch of long ones.
Tuesday night, Wendy's CFL Live. The Blue Bombers unbeaten after a thrilling victory last night. A last play 55-yarder by Troy Westwood. So it's Winnipeg and the Argos Tuesday on Wendy's CFL Live. And the Argos.
Yeah, preliminary report on Damon Allen and the Argos. Went down the locker room after the game, and I was told that he was shaking hands and getting dressed normally. It looked like the hand was going to be okay. So that was right after the game last night in Ottawa.
Argos 1-3 on the season, and the 3 losses by a total of 7 points.
Oh yeah,
so it's been tough.
Easily be 4-0 right now. Damon Allen threw for over 400 again last night in the loss. But congratulations to the Renegades. It was a well-deserved victory with a couple of very young quarterbacks, one in Kerry Joseph. Young in CFL experience.
It was fun to watch. Ottawa 34, Toronto 32 last night in the CFL. Stephen Fisher returning for the Tiger Cats. He's got the 35-yard line. Superb start to the season as we've watched the games. Most have been thrilling right to the very final seconds.
Well, for your entertainment dollar, I mean, 10 of the first 14 games decided by 7 points or less. Doesn't get much better than that.
A couple of shootouts in overtime.
I mentioned Damon Allen. 2 games now, over 400 yards, close to 900 yards in 2 games for the veteran of 19 years. Pringle's back on track. 100-yard rushing game.
Number 66. So that ties George Reed as
That's
he takes aim at the all-time rushing records established by George Reed. And here's Danny McManus back in action for the Tiger Cats for the first time in 2003. Should be the last play of the opening quarter. No flags, no catch. Tyree Davis was the intended receiver.
Anthony Pryor, step for step, and Ron Lancaster thought there was a little pushing and shoving going on.
Didn't miss by much, though, did they?
Sure did.
All even after quarter number 1, an Ivor win in Hamilton.
On the strength of a couple of field goals, one from Mark McLaughlin, a veteran, and one from the rookie, the local boy, Jason Curry out of St. Mary's. So it's 3-3 through 1 period of play. A lot of talk in Hamilton about Danny McManus being back in action for the Ticats. And how's he look? Because he really didn't get a lot of action in the preseason, Matt. So how's he looked?
Well, I think he looks a little rusty, and we saw it with the fumble. We see it with the overthrows. But as this game goes on, I think the defense is capable enough. They've proved it the first 3 weeks of keeping their football team in the game. and I think we'll see Danny McManus' offense improve. On the other side of the ball, I think Marcus Crandall has been feeling the pressure all week long. Frederick played well. They brought in Milinovic last week, or Barker Boy, and I think it's important for him to step up. And so far in this first quarter, Marcus Crandall has met the pressure and is playing extremely well.
He has responded to pressure, and so has Saladin McCullough. I love talking about running backs because half of their skills are coachable, half are natural. Watch McCullough here. This is a great cut, and it's Joe Montford. He makes the move on, and look at the torque on the leg. Redirects right from the line of scrimmage. Goes down, gets cut down, gets back up with a big smile on his face. Now, sees the seam, accelerates, spin number one, spin number two. That is excellent balance. This kid's for real. He's had a great first quarter.
Well, you know who else I've loved watching so far for Calgary is Davis Sanchez. I had a chance to play with him in Montreal. He's a dominant one-on-one guy. We're going to have a look at his technique. It will be explained to you why. He's been playing great football this year back from the NFL. Here he is right here going one-on-one on Larry Davis. He's looking in at the quarterback. His job is to read the quarterback's eyes and keep an eye on Larry Davis. Now, what he wants to do as we roll a little bit here is you're going to see him not back up. He's going to squat, ready to take the ins, the quick slants. But once Davis starts heading down the field, he is turning and running and now making the play on the football. Folks, I can't tell you how difficult that is. He does it extremely well, makes it look easy. David.
He does make it look easy, yeah. Saladin McCullough, you're right. He hadn't even played a real football game for about 2 years because he'd been trying to earn a job down in the NFL, and Schultze's right. Looks pretty good so far. Running that ball. Back to John and Glenn.
And a pleasant night at Ivor Wynne, although there are storm clouds all around. Here are the numbers through the opening quarter.
13 passing yards for the Hamilton Tiger Cats. That's the rust that Matt Dunnigan was talking about, and because of that, Stampeders dominated the time of possession.
2nd and 10. Tyree Davis slanting in. He'll be short of the first down after making the catch. Anthony Pryor wrapped him up.
And it won't take long for Danny McManus to get back on track. His throws just like that one to Tyree Davis that help him because they're timing passes. He gets rid of them on time. Davis right on the money, and he's short on the first down, but he'll get back on track with a couple more throws just like that one.
Quickest release in Canadian football, and he hasn't missed a couple by all that much.
No, just a couple of inches, and both on the deep ball. So he's established that in the minds of the Calgary secondary. Now he hopes that opens some room underneath, and then he can get on track with his receivers.
McGarity is deep for the Stampeders, and the young kicker for the Tiger Cats. Aim to the win for the first time. Across the 30. Just got it away. Inside the Stampeder 40, and McGarity springs to the far side.
Oh, what a tackle.
Great tackle by Sandy Beveridge out of UBC, a native of Vancouver.
And may have been a touchdown-saving tackle. McGarity has done some great things on the special teams, and Sandy Beveridge was the only man outside to make this tackle. If he doesn't get there, Wayne McGarity gets the corner, and he's gone. Look at this tackle. 2 blockers outside, and Beveridge just on the jersey. Get him down, because look at all that open space up there. He's gone in the end zone. He doesn't get him down there.
Had to hang on. 56 total yards for McCullough for the Stampeders. 32 receiving, 24 rushing in his opening quarter in the CFL. Stampeders first down. Good fake to McCullough. Wayne McGarity.
Yeah, the fake to McGarity. It was a different formation for Marcus Crandall. What happened was McGarity comes in. That's actually Wayne McGarity right there beside Marcus Crandall. He gets the fake, takes our cameraman right with him. It was so good. And Crandall's out there, and there we go. We got him right there, and
Don Blair
drops the ball on the outside. And that's a different formation. Put McCullough out at wide receiver. Bring the receiver, McGarity, in at the running back spot.
A gain of 3 is all the Stampeders managed with all of that. Oh, ball is loose. They ruled he was in the throwing motion. Cheatwood got through and hammered the Calgary quarterback Marcus Crandall.
You know, Joe Montford gets a whole bunch of attention. He's going to get the running back McCullough to come up and help out. There's McCullough. You see Montford on the end of the line. There's 2-on-1 on that side, and that leaves Tim Cheatwood with the 1-on-1 in the middle. He twists around underneath Bobby Singh and is right in the lap of Marcus Crandall.
Fans here not happy about the call. They Thought Cheatwood might have jarred it loose, but there was a throwing motion there from Crandall. So O'Mahony kicks it anyway, in spite of the fact there are flags everywhere. Duncan O'Mahony holds the Canadian Junior Football League record with an 89-yard punt. He established that in 1997, kicking for the Abbotsford Air Force.
Calgary, number 30, repeat third down.
Well, and he's got a 43.6-yard average so far this season. And that's among the leaders in the Canadian Football League. Larry Davis, he's got some speed. There's two good returners in this game. Larry Davis for the Ticats, Wayne McGarity for the Calgary Stampeders. And don't be surprised this game goes on that we see some excitement in the special teams in the kicking game.
Well, McGarity has already provided that this season. O'Mahony has to go high to bring this one down. Davis will take it on the first bounce. Not much running room on the return. Out near the 35. Big hits. We've got him here.
If you're not Cheatwood, you're not trying.
You're a beauty. And 3 on a tender knee. How's he holding up, Claude?
Well, guys, noticing on the sidelines after their last series, Danny Mac went and sat down on the bench and just started stretching the leg out a little bit. And a couple of guys came up to him, I guess, asking him how he was doing, just kind of giving the signal that he's okay. So looks like he's hanging on, but we'll see as the night goes on how that knee holds up, guys.
Troy Davis, huge yardage for the Tiger Cats out across the 50 to about the 52-yard line.
You know, and the one thing that Danny McManus brings that hasn't been talked about is how the Calgary Stampeders will play now against the Hamilton offense. When it's Pete Gonzalez, the teams that they've played against have sent everybody. They sent the house because they know Pete Gonzalez hasn't had a whole lot of experience in trying to handle that. Calgary's played a lot more conservative in this game because it's McManus. If you blitz him, he can burn you.
Archie Amerson gets his hands on the ball for the first time, and he's near midfield at the 55 and wrapped up by Antoine Young.
You know, the Stamps know one thing. If they send linebackers against Danny McManus, they put the receivers and DBs in a one-on-one matchup. McManus is one of the best in the league at recognizing blitz. So just the fact that he's playing will change the Calgary Stampeder game plan.
Gain is 4. This is 2nd and 6, Tiger Cats. Needing to get across the Stampeder 50 for a first down. McManus will put it up. Sidelines, far side. No catch.
No catch, John, but you're right again. Tyree Davis, and they were down the sideline. That is so close.
Kelly Malvo covering.
I mean, you talked about 2 long throws now in the first quarter that were inches away from the receiver. That one's right on the receiver, and he's inches from going out of bounds. That's how close Danny McManus has been from what could have been a real good half so far. His numbers won't reflect that, but he's been very close.
McGarity awaits. Curry puts it up, not deep. Bouncing to Wayne McGarity. All-purpose yards leader in the CFL, and the Tiger Cats have tackled well on special teams. Leading the way that time, Jared Smith. It's 3-3 on Wendy.
Well, yeah, and Joe Montford has gone with 3 inside moves now on Fred Childress, and on the third one, Childress saw it coming and was there to run him inside and get Crandall outside. So we'll watch how this matchup develops as they battle 2 veterans of the CFL, 2 all-stars, and 2 outstanding player winners, and they're going at it tonight.
Crandall from the shotgun. On first down. Not that time. McGarity was the target. For every sack in tonight's game, Purolator will contribute the quarterback's weights in food to the Hamilton Food Bank. So far, over 4 tons have been donated as a result of quarterback sacks. And I'm sure everyone's happy that Danny McManus is back in the lineup, because that's about as heavy as a quarterback gets.
That's not fair, but and Joe Montford would love to contribute to that promotion with a sack here tonight on Marcus Crandall. He's got to get 2 Childress first.
On 2nd and 10, almost intercepted. Spencer from his middle linebacking spot.
Well, if there's a question mark with Spencer, it's his run-stopping capabilities because of his weight. But when you're talking about pass coverage, now you're playing into Spencer's strength, because at 225, he's got great quickness and mobility, and he breaks on that ball, reads the eyes of Marcus Crandall, and all he had to do was hang on. Big turnover. Either way, Calgary has to punt the football.
Third 2 and out of the opening half for the Stampeders. O'Mani with the win. Davis fooled for a second. Gets another yards flag. Nice little sidestep or two down there to get across the 40 to the 43. Andre Arlane over to make the tackle after a 12-yard return, a 48-yard punt.
And the question mark for Danny McManus and his head coach will be, how will this knee hold up through the entire length of the football game? It was an innocent play in the preseason. It was a quarterback sneak. And at the bottom of that pile, the knee gets twisted and he gets bent backwards and out for 3 games because of it. Now, he's in early. No question he's in early. But look at the 4,000-yard seasons he's put together. 5,099. Last 8 seasons, 45-72. I mean, there's not many at that level.
Here's McManus. He has Davis sliding out of the backfield. Gain about 7 yards. McManus, the outstanding player in the CFL in 1999.
And how will that knee hold up? No question he's probably in the game about a week or 2 early. But Danny McManus, as the Ticats go, depends on how Danny McManus plays. And with him out of the lineup, we saw what happened. 0-3, last in almost all offensive categories. He just had to get back in the game.
This is second down. Davis gets close. He's about a yard shy, however. Joe Fleming, number 76, makes the tackle on Davis there. And check out the spot right here.
One of the keys for the Ottawa Renegades in their win last night was Darren Davis. His running ability for the Renegades of the backfield. And I'm sure Troy watched that game and said, well, hey, I gotta pick up my game here, because my bro had a good one.
Halfway to 100 in the opening half. Is Lancaster in a gambling mood tonight? A little better than a yard necessary for the first down. They're right around midfield.
It is a long yard, and it's certainly not a gimme yard. And this is where Danny McManus went down in the preseason, so it likely won't be a quarterback sneak that's the call. And that's a tough
safe bet right there.
And so, which means they're going to have to turn around and hand it to one of the 3 backs in the backfield.
Third down. A gambling situation for the Tiger Cats. And lots of punch in that.
Hey.
Stampeders say no way, but I think he might have gotten it. Alondra Johnson putting the stop on Troy Davis.
Either way, that collision was as good as it's going to get. Julian Radlin, the fullback, and Alondra Johnson in the hole. Oh, baby. I mean, whether you're cheering for the Ticats or you're cheering for the Calgary Stampeders, you like football, you like this play.
Radlin gets a tough yard. Troy Davis. And that's Willie Fells with the tackle.
And let's just watch this hit one more time. 15-year veteran Alondra Johnson and the rookie Radlin. Oh, that's a snap. Radlin has to adjust the equipment after that and said, oh yeah, that's why they always talk about Alondra Johnson. Wow, that's good football right there.
Gain of 5 for Davis. 2nd and 5 here for McManus. Over the middle, he'll get the first down. Ball comes loose afterwards. And the Ticats get it right back as Larry Davis makes another catch. Davis in his first start, a couple of catches already tonight.
Take a look at Danny McManus as he gets out of there in the shotgun, and just take a look if he's limping or favoring that knee. He plants well, recognizes that there's pressure on the line of scrimmage from linebackers, and dumps it over the middle of Larry Davis, and everything mechanically looked pretty sound there from Danny McManus.
Ticats trying to reverse their fortunes on an 0-3 start and get this offense moving already. We've seen a lot of bright spots for the Tiger Cats offensively tonight, in spite of the fact there's only 3 points on the board. On first down, Troy Davis again got around the corner for about 3, maybe 4 yards.
And Fells is going to get a penalty at the end of the play. Because Davis went down, the whistle blew, and Fells pulled Davis's leg back towards the Hamilton side of the field. And he's going to get called for unnecessary roughness because of it. Watch the end of the play. Now Davis runs hard out the outside. It's good tackle by Fells. He gets him down on the ground, and then as he gets up.
Major foul, unnecessary roughness.
Right there.
Calgary, number 39.
Right
First
there,
down.
he pulls him back. And that may look like an innocent play. It may look like it's nothing, but something like that can really injure a player. He's not ready for it. He's relaxed because the whistle has blown, and Fells gives him a yank in the knee.
You can't make a wish with the running back.
No, you don't want to make a wish with the running back. That's not right. That's just not right.
So look where the Tiger Cats are as a result with a first down at the Stampeder 26. Penalties have hurt Calgary already tonight. Radlin gets across the 25 to about the 24. This is a rather impressive drive for McManus and the Tiger Cats.
Well, you talked about, Calgary coming in with the win. Ticats at 0-3 this season. But the good news for Hamilton is over the last few games, in fact, dating back to 1998, they have not lost to the Calgary Stampeders. The last time they did lose here in Ivor Wynne Stadium was in 1998. So you've got history on their side, if anything.
That was the Grey Cup year. Stampeders won it in 98. And the Ticats, the rematch in 1999. Two great Grey Cups, two classics.
It's created a bit of a rivalry between the two teams, and Danny McManus is putting together right now a confidence-building drive, and I say that
procedure, Hamilton, number 66, repeat second down.
Mike Mihalik called on the procedure call, and there's that championship banner that you talked about when they built this rivalry, 98-99.
McManus and Darren Flutie in that Grey Cup, you may recall, and Mark McLaughlin with the game-winning field goal the year before in 98 for the Calgary Stampeders.
This is a confidence-building drive for Danny McManus in this offense. They, this season, have really struggled putting first downs together. Now they've got a challenge now at 2nd and 13.
Shotgun, McManus unloads in a hurry. Amerson was tied up.
Kelly Malville, yeah, he denied the middle of the field to Archie Amerson. He was in perfect position, and Amerson was trying to fight his way back towards the football to go down the hash mark. That's where the ball was thrown. And McManus had to get it there, and he had to release it when he did. I mean, Danny McManus in the shotgun sees the pressure coming, so now he has to get it out of there. He throws it to the middle, right down the hash mark, and what he does is he hopes that Archie Amerson can fight his way in there. But Malville just shut the doors. He didn't let him back into the middle of the field.
Here's a challenge for the young kicker. Jason Curry will have it spotted at the 37, into the breeze. He's wide this time. He got his first, and the Stampeders will give up the single point. So Jason Curry pulls it a little wide. And the Ticats settle for one. Misses from 37. Here's Claude with a wounded Warrior from Hamilton.
Well, no question, Wellesley, Paul Osbaldiston would rather be out there kicking those field goals, but from what you've seen of Jason Curry so far, what's your take on the young guy?
Well, he's got a great attitude. He's got great work habits. He's got a very strong leg. He just needs to get a little bit more experience. You know, he's the type of guy I think with some time could play in this league and be a punter and kicker in this league. The guys love him. He's worked really hard ever since he's been in camp, and everybody's pulling for him. So far, he's done a pretty darn good job.
I know there's a lot of love out there, but I'm sure you'd rather be out there. What's the latest prognosis on when you might be back?
Well, hard to tell with the larger muscle pulls, but it's definitely not as bad as I thought it was originally. The last couple of days, things have progressed a lot faster than I thought they would, so I'm pretty enthused about having an outside shot at playing the next game. If not, probably this is Saskatchewan game. If I don't make that Western road trip when the team gets back, the game after that, I think I'll be ready.
All right, and if anything else, Paul Osbaldiston knows what Jason Curry's going through. He stepped in for a guy named Louis Pasaglia back in 1987, then with the BC Lions, guys.
And here are the Stampeders looking to turn this into a first down, and they will across the 40 as McCullough makes the reception.
That's when McCullough is playing the outside, and he makes that catch right now down the sidelines in different formations from the Calgary Stampeders. As they try and move McCullough around and give him some different looks, something that Hamilton hasn't seen on film.
Saladin McCullough, in his first game with the Calgary Stampeders, did play briefly with the Edmonton Eskimos a few years ago. One game in Edmonton. And up for the first down on a 15-yard gain for McCullough there. He gets it again. Big hole opens up across the middle, and this will be another Stampeder first down, 11 yards, as Kyle Walters steps up from his safety spot to make the tackle.
You know, when we talk about running backs, we often talk about their speed, quickness, ability to make moves in the hole, and McCullough has shown a lot of that. He got off to a bit of a bumpy start with the fumble on his first play, but
since then it's been all good.
But since then it has been good. He's made some great moves, some good moves at the point of attack, some spin moves that we've seen, one right there, a couple right there as a matter of fact. And that last play where he had good yardage, he showed good patience.
6 carries, 33 yards, and a couple of fine receptions as well. And he's responsible for the Stampeder drive in the main. Here's a guy who had a great week.
Oh, did he ever?
Last week, Marcus Spencer making the tackle on Scott Dybert, who just had a terrific week for the Calgary Stampeders. Over 100 yards and a pass for a touchdown.
He threw it.
Yeah. That was the win over the Renegades. Scott Dybert, nice game. Stampeders on 2nd and 5. Crandall far side. No catch. Stampeders are running into injury problems. Let's check in with Lisa Hillary.
Well, thanks, John. The Stampeders were excited to get O-lineman Jay McNeil back in the lineup after missing the early part of the season with a right calf injury. Stamps trainer Pat Clayton has been very cautious with the injury. It seems to have cramped up a little bit, so McNeil is sidelined till the kinks get worked out. Guys, back to you.
An all-Canadian and sorely missed in the Stampeder offensive line.
David Heisman comes in and replaces McNeil, play beside Fred Childers.
So a 51-yarder with the win for Mark McLaughlin. 8 for 8 on the season. 1 for 1 tonight. And this one is wide. So the kickers duel continues, and they're even.
And the first blemish for Mark McLaughlin.
Longest try of the year, had a breeze behind him. Couldn't put it through. So it's even again, 4-4. Danny McManus, the numbers are not terrific, but he has moved the football team. Just overthrew his intended target that time, Troy Davis. Coming in with over 45,000 yards. 42 for McManus.
And he's climbing up the ladder. He should catch Matt Dunnigan this year if he can keep that knee healthy. And probably 2 good years away from his coach, Ron Lancaster, and of course Damon Allen. If he keeps putting up 400-yard passing games, he's just going to run away with it. He may have 70,000 before he's done.
2nd and 10. McManus and the Tiger Cats. This will work for Tyree Davis. Short of the first down, though, wrapped up in a hurry by Anthony Pryor.
You know, the good news for Hamilton offensively is that they're getting more protection, better protection, I should say, than they had the first 3 games with Pete Gonzalez at quarterback. Now, that just has to do with a couple things. One, Ron Lancaster challenged those big O-linemen over the last week. And the other, he made the change, putting Chase Rainick in the game. And they have, you know, when you look back through time, done well up there on that offensive line, including a CFL record in the year they won the Grey Cup.
Quick release for McManus has helped a lot of offensive linemen in Hamilton through the years. And Edmonton. McGarity. A long way for a couple of yards on the return. Jarrett Smith leading the tacklers again.
Boy, when you watch Wayne McGarity run, you think every time he touches the ball, he's going to break one for a long touchdown. He's already got a 70-yard punt return for a touchdown. He has a 14-yard return average, which is better than any of the top 10 in CFL history when you look at the record book. Now, he's played 3 games in 2003, but he has had the fans on their feet a few times. The Big Man Stadium in Calgary. He runs just like that one.
Marcus Crandall takes off after a little play action fake, and the hole closed up in a hurry. Joe Monfort leading the Ticat tacklers to the quarterback there, backed up by Sean Woodson.
It was McGarity that he was looking for, and that's the thing that McGarity brings, because he not only we showed you some of the special teams work he's done in the first 3 games, but comes in there at receiver. He's a threat because of that great speed. He can really stretch the defense and not only get open deep, but open up things underneath for his fellow receivers.
Only a 1-yard gain for Crandall. This is 2nd and 9 Calgary. Got it away in a hurry and threw it between 2 receivers. McDonald was there, and so was McGarity.
And so was Mumford.
But the ball bounced right.
Yeah. And Mumford around the football again. And I know you're talking about the end of the play, John, and you're absolutely right. McGarity was the intended target, and there was 2 of them in the same soda bottle. And here comes Mumford. Mumford off the edge and basically really just causing enough problems for Marcus Crandall so far to distract him enough that he's not been on target.
Duncan O'Mahony inside his 25 with the breeze at his back. Larry Davis ready to return for the Tiger Cats. Nice move by Larry Davis. Lost the ball. Stampeders will have it. Stampeders touched it last going out of bounds. No penalty markers anywhere.
Yeah, and all you have to do is be the last one to touch it with your hands, a part of your body, not kick it out of bounds. If you kick it out of bounds, it goes back to the Ticats. Larry Davis looked like when he was hit, this ball popped way out and jumped about 10 yards forward. Here it comes right there, and there's the touch. Hassan Proverbs, the free safety, also playing on the special teams, is the guy who's last to touch it. That's Stampeder football.
Knocked free by Jason Bray. Second fumble of the game for the Tiger Cats. First down, Stampeders just inside Hamilton territory. Crandall has McDonald. McDonald away from 1 tackler and then 2. Tripped up. Head over heels at the 25. Kyle Walters got there.
You know, both teams have had opportunities, haven't been able to capitalize. That's why it's 4-4. Marcus Crandall now has probably his best so far in this football game to put a major on the board. And what a confidence builder that would be for Marcus Crandall, you know, who's led this team in the past, has shown great leadership skills in the past, but that is under question right now.
Led them into the Grey Cup and to the championship.
That's right.
2 years ago. But last year was a tough season. Crandall with a first down for the Stampeders at the 25.
No, sir.
McCullough wrapped up. Guess who was there? Joe Monfort.
Yeah, and this is Mumford in the run game, and something that Hamilton really had to shore up coming in, because coming into this one, they weren't real good at stopping the run. In fact, they were ranked 9th, dead last in the Canadian Football League. But this time Mumford stands up Fred Childress, and in that matchup we've been talking about, give 1 for 5-3 right there.
106 quarterback sacks. Wow.
Yeah. 3-time Defensive Player of the Year.
Double wow. Well, maybe triple.
Yeah, and Fred Childress.
Calgary.
Fred Childress, a tremendous veteran, and that time, you know, he And this is how this matchup works. They just, you know, mentally play against each other. And Childress knows, okay, he got me there. Got me on my heels a bit. Made the play in the backfield. Now it's my turn. And watch him here. It'll be interesting to watch him on second down.
Stampeders have called the timeout. Here's a page from Ron Lancaster's Football 101.
All right.
Watch my line. The backfield is secondary. And that works both sides of the line. It's what you've got up front.
You win or lose in the trenches. And then that's the modern version of that saying right there. Watch my line.
The backfield is secondary.
I love it. I love it. And it is certainly an interesting game inside of the game that goes on. And it goes on. And for them, it's a battle down there. It's an all-out war. They're head-to-head, shoulder-to-shoulder, fist-to-fist on every single down.
Here we go. 22 seconds till halftime. Stampeders looking at 2nd and 11. And this is whistled down in a hurry. There was early movement down there.
Mumford took off. I'm not sure what he noticed, but he was gone. It looked like Mumford got shot out of a cannon. I mean, one little flinch on that offensive line, and defensive linemen are trained to go on movement. The snap of the ball, the hand of an offensive lineman, the moment that it flinches, they take off. Especially a guy like Mumford, who's been a 3-time Defensive Player of the Year. That first step for Mumford, sort of like Michael Jordan's first step going to the hole.
Absolutely.
I mean, it's tough to handle.
Procedure. Calgary, number 62, penalties decline. Still second down. Second down.
He's on the other side against Bobby Singh. The other side from Childress.
From Fred Childress. And Bobby Singh and Jeff Pilon now have to deal with Mumford, who moves to the short side of the field for this 2nd and long play.
So now 12 seconds on the clock, down to 10 till halftime. Crandall has to get to the end zone in a hurry. It's McCullough. It's up to him. Looking for his first CFL touchdown. He won't get it. Zeros are up. No penalty flags down anywhere.
Well,
and you wonder if they thought of the right play.
Well, they dumped it off because they had to. Hamilton was coming with some blitz. They picked it up. Jeff Pilon cut Joe Mumford on the play. He had to cut him down so that Marcus Crandall dumped it off, and McCullough just ran out of time.
And out of room on the sidelines over there, a couple of yards shy. But the Stampeders come away empty.
Not a bad way to try and cut down Joe Mumford, and look at him just crawling. It's trying to scratch for that sack.
McCullough doesn't quite make it to the end zone, so at the half it's even. Hamilton 4, Calgary 4.
Well, last night on TSN, the Argonauts and the Renegades, they lit up the scoreboard like a Christmas tree, but that's not exactly the situation we have going here at Ivor Wynne. And Calgary lets the clock run out before they have the opportunity to add at least 3 more points, so it's all deadlocked in a defensive struggle 4-4. However, key moments in this football game, you wonder if turnovers could be a factor. Calgary couldn't take advantage of that one. Was there another turnover that wasn't called, John?
Well, I think there might have been, David, and we saw Joe Mumford at the end of the quarter there and the pressure he's been putting on the quarterback, and he did it earlier in the football game as well. You see him coming off the edge, take 2 Calgary guys with him, and that allows his man Chiwa to come up the middle. Now look at this football. This football goes backwards. If the football is thrown backwards, that's a lateral.
Right.
And we're going to see it from a different angle right here, and either this is a fumble or it's a lateral. Either way, that ball is live. I think the refs might have missed one there, and that might have been a crucial change of momentum right there for Calgary. In a low-scoring game, man, you got to take those opportunities.
Yeah, and you talked about earlier, that defense putting pressure on Crandall in that second quarter there and keeping this game tight. I'm looking at what happened in here with Londra Johnson, 15th year in the league, folks. This is a great shot of a guy that can flat out get it done. Here he is right here. Look at the intensity in his eyes right there. And what AJ's going to do, he's going to read the deep offensive line and the flow of the running backs, and he's going to come over here and he's going to fill. We're going to roll this and watch his intensity increase right here. Boom! He sees a ball carrier right there. He's going to fill this lane right in here. And I'm telling you, it is going to be nasty collision time. Pow! Now, they get the first down there, but I'm telling you, that is scary from that perspective. I've been running through those holes before, and I've been hit by that man before, and I know that Redland is going to feel that tomorrow.
And what amazes me is after all those hits, he still has the intensity to make that kind of impact. That's a great play by Alondra Johnson. But for the Hamilton Ticats, they've got to win this second half, because come Wednesday, they're in Edmonton. Then the next Sunday, they are in Regina, Saskatchewan. If they don't win this football game, it is the beginning of a mini disaster, and they can't afford it early in the season.
Just a mini disaster?
A mini disaster.
Not a big disaster.
Just a mini. There's mini disasters, there's moderate disasters, and there's huge disasters.
This is a mini one. It's classified as a mini disaster. And Calgary, actually, next week has to go into Montreal. So both teams want to finish the deal here tonight. We're all square through 2 quarters. 1991, it's the Stamps against the BC Lions. First half action, Doug Flutie looks downfield and hits running back Chris Skinner. 43-yard catch and run. Lions up by 3. Danny Barrett had a great game for the Stamps. Here is his second rushing touchdown of the game. Nice move of the goal line as well. Calgary led 17-14. Then more from number 22. Flutie hits Tony Hunter on a slant. Hunter grabbed the seam and he just took off, eluding a Calgary defender, and 70 yards later, the game is tied. But late in the game, Barrett is going to connect with Alan Pitts, and these are the winning points right there. Calgary wins a good one, 39-34. Big numbers in that game. I remember that one very well, Matty. What about this one? Here's the halftime
Will you
numbers.
just continue to watch that game?
It was a good one, I remember.
I'm looking at, we're all hoping that Danny McManus can help this offense out. Well, we hadn't seen in the first half. The fact is the defense is playing well for both teams, and I expect these offenses to get off in the second half.
Well, 41 yards passing for the Hamilton Tiger Cats. You're right. How about the running game? And the weapon out of the backfield for the Calgary Stampeders, Saladin McCullough. Watch him in the second half.
We're ready for the second half at Ivor Wynne Stadium in Hamilton. Not much on the board as far as scoring is concerned. 4 points each, but it has been close and somewhat entertaining.
Yeah, absolutely. Some plays made and a lot of defensive plays made. And both quarterbacks have had to face a little bit of pressure. Marcus Crandall early in the first quarter did a nice job of eluding some of that pressure and showing some poise in the pocket.
Calgary really needed points from that turnover late in the opening half.
Well, they certainly did, and the play was obviously designed to go down towards the end zone, and Crandall had to dump it off. McManus was so close on a couple of long throws. I mean, we're talking a couple inches away from having a 200-yard half, and it didn't look very good in the numbers for his first half of play throwing the football. Showed some rust early on in the first quarter, looked better in the second.
So Danny McManus getting his first start of 2003, and here's how the quarterback stacked up in the opening half.
That could easily be that. 141.
Second half is underway. This is Larry Davis for the Tiger Cats. Out across the 45, near the 48. 21 yards on the return, and here's Danny Mac.
John, this half of football for the Hamilton Tiger Cats will go a long way to determining what kind of team they are the rest of the year. I truly believe that, because 0-3 out of the gate, tied at 4 against a good football team at halftime in a game that they really have to win for their confidence, get some fans back in the stands, and this will go a long way, this half of football.
And they had their leader back. Danny McManus, no question, is the leader of this football team. Actually, both sides of the ball. He is the guy that the Tiger Cats have looked up to.
They need him to make some plays in this half.
Through the last 6 seasons in Hamilton. And the running game stuffed again by a tough Stampeder defense. That's George White stepping up there.
And John, the story that gets lost because the fact that Danny McManus was hurt in the preseason, didn't play the first 3 games, was that he lost his #1 target. And Darren Flutie retiring this offseason has really, put a hole in the offense, obviously, but it's taken away that comfort blanket from Danny McManus, and that was a relationship that comes along once a decade in football.
They also lost their 3rd best receiver statistically in Andrew Gregg, who's retired as well. McManus near side. Oh, almost had that one picked off.
Davis Sanchez baits you so well, and we saw him early in the game run deep on a pattern, and he was sitting at about 10 yards waiting for that pattern to come to him. This time, as McManus releases the football, he's sitting back there again, but as it's coming up, Davis Sanchez is coming downhill. And this secondary for the Calgary Stampeders is turning it on in a big way. They have the last 2 weeks.
So 2 and out for the Tiger Cats. Jason Curry is in, standing at his 35. With the breeze at his back, McGarity waits. High and deep, down to the 5. McGarity retreats to about the 3, and he's out. Wayne McGarity. Tiger Cat special teams a lot better tonight than what we saw a couple of weeks ago against the Argonauts. Sean Woodson and Jared Smith on the tackle there, and there's a penalty marker down at the 10.
Yeah, I think that'll push Marcus Crandall as he comes on to start this second half. Back.
Illegal block. Calgary, number 87, on the run back. First down.
Back in the shadow of his own goalpost now.
A 57-yard punt, and add the penalty yardage on, and the Stampeders begin just outside the 5.
Marcus Crandall's numbers aren't real impressive as well when you look at them at 7 for 16, and a lot of those completions coming early in the game in the first quarter. And since then he's had some problems, but he's had some pressure, and Joe Montford's been a story. Tim Cheatwood has a sack in the game.
Stampeders begin the second half deep in their own zone. Saladin McCullough has run well.
Yeah, he has.
The 10.
Yeah, he has.
The 14.
Real bright story for the Calgary Stampeders. Saladin McCullough has had over 100 yards of offense in the first half and caught a lot of little swing passes. He's played wide receiver, shown some versatility, and I think you can say in one half of football that McCullough's a keeper.
Replacing Lawrence Phillips, and here's what Phillips was able to do in the 3 games that he played.
Last year's numbers over 1,000 yards, or in his career in the CFL, and in 3 games he had probably his best game versus Ottawa just before he was hurt.
Second and 2. Fake to McCullough this time. Crandall to the far side. Has his receiver. Darnell McDonald.
Marcus Crandall calls his own plays, and that's a gutsy call in 2nd and 2. Pretty easy to just give it to McCullough and let him go ahead and try and get the 2. But he plays play action, and it shows a little confidence in his ability to throw the football, because that's a wide field out to the outside.
Frederick got the win last week for the Stampeders over the Ottawa Renegades.
4 receivers over here, none over there.
Crandall sends it to the far side, short side of the field, and keeps it on the ground as John McDonald steps up to make the tackle on McCullough.
That's an interesting formation. It's the second time they've run it. You see 1, 2, 3, 4 receivers on the wide side of the field, and just Saladin McCullough in the backfield, and they're going to run away from it. What that does is it takes defenders over to the wide side of the field and under the run support. It takes defensive backs. The halfbacks have to come over. The corner has to slide back into the other side of the field.
McGarity leads 3 receivers to the near side this time. On second down, miscommunication there. Ricky Lloyd, 81, was the closest Stampeder receiver to the ball.
Well, Ricky Lloyd, it looked like he just stuck with the call in the huddle and didn't recognize the blitz was coming. Lloyd has got to break this out in a hurry. If he doesn't, he's left his quarterback in trouble, and you can see where the ball ended up. And the reason for that is look at the pressure coming. Tim Cheatwood up the middle, Marcus Spencer from the middle linebacker spot. The pocket collapsed. Crandall had no choice.
Ricky Lloyd in his 2nd game for the Calgary Stampeders. O'Mani into the breeze. And there was movement there on 3rd down.
Now this made
7.
Saw Beveridge. Sandy Beveridge jumped up into the line of scrimmage, and he wasn't the only Tiger Cat to do it.
Offside, Hamilton. Number 94, repeat third down.
So it's 3rd and 2.
Verbeek, who wears a couple of different numbers. When he plays on the offensive side, he'll wear 54. Wears 94 on some of the teams, and he jumped as well. But 3rd and 2, still too long to gamble when you're in your own end of the field.
And that ball is at the 35. O'Mahony back at his 21.
Tried to draw.
They certainly waited long enough, didn't they? Into the breeze. Larry Davis dropped it. Stampeders have it. Another costly turnover against the Tiger Cats. Larry Davis, as a starting receiver tonight, used on special teams primarily in the first games.
You know what Larry Davis was thinking? He saw a low driving punt. He thought it was returnable, and he looked at the hole he was trying to run to before he caught the football.
Stampeders have another turnover. They didn't capitalize on the last one. The game for the Tiger Cats sets the Stampeders up inside the 40. This is first down. Ricky Lloyd around the corner for a couple, but a costly turnover, and Larry Davis is the loneliest guy in the park.
Well, yeah, and he has to sit and think about this now and hope his defense comes up with a stop. Proverbs comes up with it, and you see Larry Davis just comes underneath and can't get his body in the perfect position. He can't get square to the football, doesn't get there in time. His eyes come off it for just a second. Now he's got to hope his defense comes up with a big play.
He doesn't want to look, does he? Gain of 6, 2nd and 4, Stampeders. Crandall fires that one. And he's on the money for McDonald. Darnell McDonald, a couple of catches tonight. Nice target at 6'3".
This is tough on Hamilton Tiger Cats. They've had to do this a couple of times now. Golden opportunity for Marcus Crandall, though. Remember in the first turnover like this, when it was down in Hamilton's end, the half ran out. He's got to get it in the end zone this time.
Well, he's got lots of time here with a first down at the 27. McCullough has run well. Stopped there by Cheatwood.
It's sort of called sudden change, and that's the way we used to call it in Saskatchewan. When there's a quick turnover and you've just spent 4 or 5 downs, maybe longer on the field, now you force a punt, you're on your way to the bench, and just before you sit down, your special teams have turned it back over to the offense. You got to hustle back on the field, and you got to reach down in the belly, deep down in there, and find a way to come up with another stop and at least hold Calgary to a field goal.
Crucial down for the Stampeders here now. 2nd and 6. Crandall will get the first down and more. It's McDonald again inside the 10. Marcus Spencer made the stop on Darnell McDonald.
And in this sudden change scenario, offensively, a major is the only success you're thinking about. You do not, if you go and you have to kick a field goal when you get the ball in a turnover like Marcus Crandall just did, that's a win for the defense. And offensively, that's your mindset. A major is all you're looking for in this scenario.
And that's really critical to the psyche of Marcus Crandall here now, looking at first and goal inside the 10. McCullough won't get around the bend. Well, it's Johnny Scott to make the tackle there.
If Marcus Crandall goes back to this formation and this setup and keeps the football, which it looked like he almost was thinking about doing, and sometimes the quarterback has that option. He is allowed to come around, and if he doesn't see the end in a good containment position, he'll keep it and go around the outside. Crandall goes and decides to give the ball to McCullough, but look at the open space he had if he keeps it. They may go right back to it.
Stampeders lost a yard. So it's 2nd and goal to go. Just inside the 10 now. From the shotgun, Crandall. End zone toss. No chance, no catch.
See, Crandall,
McDonald was the target.
Yeah, Crandall knew, John, by formation where he wanted to throw the football. He was going to McDonald on the backside because it was a one-on-one there with Diedrich Mathis. And by formation, he knew that, because if you see the end of this play, there's no other receivers on that side of the field. It was the one-on-one, Diedrich Mathis, and because they were the only two left on the backside, Crandall knew he had one-on-one, and he had a good height advantage with McDonald, but give credit to Diedrich Mathis.
Mark McLaughlin, good on 50%, missed from 51. Chip shot from 16 here. Stampeders have the lead for the first time. They settled for a field goal.
But that's a win for the defense.
Ivor win in Hamilton, breezy but almost perfect for a July football game. Wendy's Friday Night Football hits the road again next Friday evening. BC at Ottawa, Lions and Renegades. Look forward to that one.
Boy,
interesting match last night, was it not?
Yeah, it was a great football game. Congratulations to the Renegades. And how about Dave Dickinson's season so far? 70% completion percentage.
It's an interesting story, and he's only won one game. I mean, it should be better than that for the Lions.
Well, one thing that's better for the Calgary Stampeders this year and over the last two games has been their secondary, thanks in part to the addition of Davis Sanchez. But as a group, this secondary over the last two games has really turned it up a notch.
They don't go his direction very often, do they?
Well, he gets bored out there. I mean, look at last week. Ottawa Renegades completed just 15 passes in an entire football game for 177 yards. That's tremendous from the secondary. And tonight, in the first half, 5 completions for Danny McManus.
Ticats have a first down near the 50. McManus has a target. It's Archie Amerson. His first of the night. Malvo was covering on Amerson that time. It'll be enough for a Ticat first down.
And he's one of the players that have been playing well. And you just take a look across the board. You see the DBs line up in this zone defense right here. Malvo's on that far side of the field to you. And Malvo is another guy who's really turned it up. Remember Kelly Malville last year, and he had the Terrell Owens incident when right after he did the marker thing. And
brought the Sharpie out?
Yeah, he brought the Sharpie out the week later, and all that happened. And, but he's played well since then.
McManus has another strike. Tony Akins makes the catch.
And right now what the secondary for the Stampeders are trying to do is drop in that zone defense, and they're going to give up that underneath pattern. As you can see right now, that the underneath stuff, they want to stay high, they want to have the safety in the middle and make sure that they don't give up the big play.
The underneath pattern there, though, cost you 10 yards and a first down. Well, so this Tiger Cat drive continues.
Yeah, and look for some man-to-man coming right now. See Sanchez climbed up and bump and run at the bottom.
McManus fakes one, has Amerson again. Look to the end zone for a split second, caught from behind at the 10.
Now,
and Amerson figured he should have been there. Oh, it was Wes Lysak making the tackle.
Now, John, I think I've jinxed the Calgary secondary by starting to talk to him, and Danny McManus proceeds to complete 3 in a row. This pressure coming, McManus recognizes it, dumps it off to Archie Amerson, and guess who he catches that one in front of in a man-to-man situation? Kelly Malville. Now it's time for that secondary we just talked so highly about to buckle down.
The Suitor jinx.
They got their back up against the wall.
Here, now it's the Tiger Cats. First and goal to go from the 9. McManus right to the end zone. Amerson has the touchdown. Way to go, Suits. They love you in Calgary.
Jinx the secondary. I tell you what, McManus put a nice package together, and he involved Archie Amerson. And we talked about Darren Flutie being a big hole that they've had to fill. Maybe Amerson's the guy for Danny McManus this year.
Well, he was his second favorite target last year. But they haven't had a chance to work together very much in 2003.
Oh, that's right. And Amerson came into camp. He's shown tremendous leadership in the group. And my apologies to the Calgary Stampeders secondary for the Suitor jinx.
Yeah, well, it's not your fault. Archie Amerson is responsible for most of it, isn't he?
He sure is.
There's the touchdown toss. Ticats on top. 3 catches on the drive, 52 yards in total. And Danny McManus looks to be back.
And Archie Amerson scores the goal, and Tyree Davis sitting right beside him gets the helper.
A little assist to number 84.
He certainly did. And they go and sit down and talk about it. Just out of that shot was Danny McManus saying, hey, nice job, boys. Keep it up.
Kickoff to McGarity, who has been well covered.
Let me show you the helper from Tyree Davis, and you're going to see what Danny McManus saw on the play. He sees the drop from the linebackers from the Calgary Stampeders. You know why Archie Amerson is so wide open? Kelly Malville's in charge of covering, and watch what Malville is trying to deal with. He looks and there's Tyree Davis on what the offense like to call a rub play.
More than a rub.
What in the secondary we call a pick play.
Danny McManus has his first touchdown toss of 2003. And that wasn't McGarity on the return. It was Arlane, a short kick from Jason Curry. So here's where the Stampeders begin. At the 35. The heat was on. The pass was overthrown, and there are penalty markers in the Stampeder backfield.
Marcus Crandall got a bit of a shove at the end of the play. He had to take a couple of steps back because Tim Cheatwood had cut him off. They wanted to try and get Crandall to the outside and outside of containment. And he wasn't allowed. See how he had to put the brakes on and
Major
drop back?
And roughing the passer, Hamilton, number 49, first down.
Tim Cheatwood could have turned away. He had time to turn away. And that's what the officials look at in this scenario. And I know there's been some close calls this year. But in fairness to the officials, they are trying to protect the quarterbacks. And I think in that judgment call right there, Tim Cheatwood could have turned off and avoided the hit.
As a result, the Stampeders are out at the Calgary 51 with a first down. Trying to answer the touchdown drive. McCullough caught from behind. He's got better than 5 yards.
And you know, when you do want to protect the quarterbacks and make sure that they are out there, because when you look at these two teams, now some of these decisions have been injury related, some performance related, but a lot of quarterbacks have played for just these two teams so far this year.
7 in total when you add that up. Gain is 6, 2nd and 4 Calgary. Just across midfield into Hamilton territory. Crandall near side. He'll get a first down out of the reception there. Darnell McDonald.
Marcus Crandall was injured, and you know, there was talk when Kevin Federick played against the Ottawa Renegades that, you know, he would have played regardless because they weren't quite happy with the way Marcus Crandall had played in the first couple of games. But he did have a bit of a groin injury. McManus, of course, well documented. He was hurt in the preseason.
And Gonzalez was injured last week, but is listed as the backup and ready to go in spite of sore ribs tonight. First down. Flags are down. Pump fake. Long toss.
You know,
whoa.
John Darnell McDonald he was so anxious to run the out and up, and I think he limps off the field. He had run about 3 outs in a row, down the field and then out to the sideline. He wanted to do that and set up the defensive back, Diedrich Mathis, with an out and up, and when he did, he was offside.
Offside, Calgary, number 80, at penalties declined, 2nd down.
And he hurt himself in the process. He pulls himself out of the game.
So it's Tim Cheatwood getting the heat on Crandall one more time here.
Yeah, and Crandall's faced this since the first quarter. And now that kind of pattern, see how he pump faked on the quick out to McDonald and then went deep with it? That takes a little more time, so you're likely going to take a hit.
2nd and 10 Calgary. Crandall running for his life. Montford is there, got it away. It'll be a first down Stampeders inside the 30. Super pass from Crandall to Laterio Rochelle.
Watch Joe Mumford on this matchup at the bottom of your screen. There it is right there. Big Chill tries to go for that cut. Remember Jeff Pilon, it worked well? Not this time. Mumford's seen that book. He reads that one, and he's outside, and he's in chase. Pretty nice throw with pressure on him from Marcus Crandall.
The gain is 19. This Stampeder drive continues.
And so does that matchup.
the 27, McCullough. Straight way to the end zone. Touchdown, Calgary.
Oh, how do you like this guy?
26 yards in the touchdown.
Saladin McCullough.
His first in the CFL. And the Stampeders really needed to answer that drive by the Tiger Cats.
Well, he's shown a lot of things in this game, and you know, oftentimes you don't get a chance to show. See that cut back to the hole? I mean, the play is designed to go to the field side of the formation, the wide side, and McCullough saw nothing over there, so he just cuts back on a dime and he's gone. That was great acceleration after he made his cut. 26 yards to Pater.
Oh. So another lead change here as the Stampeders pull out in front. 14-11.
Well, it's that transition speed. It's going from one direction to another, and how quickly you can accelerate that really distinguishes good backs from great backs. And watch how he takes this move this way, nothing is there, and then cuts back in the hole. And the change of direction is so quick. Once McCullough has this football in his hands, right there's the change of direction. Now watch the acceleration. As he bursts in this direction, that acceleration just runs past all the tackling angles from the secondary and the linebacking core of the Ticats.
147 yards and a CFL touchdown in his debut in the Canadian Football League. Beveridge returning,
you know, John,
a short one for the Tiger Cats. He's across the 35-37.
When you talk about the debut of a player like McCullough, and you know, teams, when you watch this play one more time, fans of a football team are always so worried when their stars get injured. And there's two ways to look at it. One is, yeah, certainly you've lost one of your good players, one of your offensive threats, but there is always an opportunity right behind there and a chance to look at another player, and every player that's starting as a star in this game right now, he had to step in for an injury somewhere along the line.
The book on McCullough from Coach Jim Barker, he catches well and explodes through the hole.
He certainly did there.
Troy Davis turns the corner for a couple. He's across the 40, near the 43. Joe Fleming is there to make the stop. McManus, a solid drive last time.
Well, and he went to Archie Amerson in the passing game, and in the first half he put together a good drive that was up in the 7-8 plays category with Troy Davis. So now he's going back and forth, and what that does is provide balance in that offense and really keeps the Calgary defense from pinning their ears back and going after Danny Mac.
McManus looks at 2nd and 5 here and looks deep. A little too far. Toss intended for Tony Akins. He was well covered and not nearly deep enough.
Well, you know, and he's missed a few of those in the deep ones, and not by much. I mean, that miss there was about 1.5 yards, and it's just been the biggest difference in how close he's been. But the deep ball, probably the toughest one to complete when you've got a little rust on you. I mean, you know, that's a precision pass, and the coverage from the secondary here in Calgary has been pretty tight throughout this game. He's had to drop it in the bucket. It's been very close, but off the mark.
Jason Curry gets another one away with the wind at his back. Wayne McGarity out to the 35 almost. Jared Smith leading the Tiger Cat tacklers one more time.
There's a penalty on the play. The Ticats are going to be called for a holding at the line of scrimmage. It's actually one of the personal protectors, one of the guys back there with the punter. So you can't end the quarter on a penalty.
This was 3rd and 5.
So I know the boys back in the studio are getting all fired up. They're going to have to wait a second.
Number 33, that penalty's declined. It's first down.
Well, they declined the penalty. So we can end it. Now they can take over.
We're just hoping the makeup has been touched up.
They're ready to go.
Your turn, guys. 14-11 here.
Thanks, Wellesley. So, Saladin McCullough. I'm sure there were Stamps fans out there that were worried about the running game with Lawrence Phillips going down in their last game against Ottawa. But this guy, as Schultze talked about him after the first quarter, he's been impressive. He scores the latest touchdown. And let's start by talking about Calgary, Jock.
Well, Calgary's offense has the one touchdown in the quarter, and thank goodness we get some scoring going in this game, but they should have two. And we saw it down here in the goal line. Now, we got Darnell McDonald who's working on Dedrick Mathis. And here's what he's doing here. Mathis is off 10 yards. And the ball is going here over his head. That's not where it needs to go. We need to throw behind here. Now, Matt Dunning will tell you, as a quarterback, you need to throw at the guy's numbers and lead him outside. He's got 3 inches on Mathis. He's not doing him any good by throwing him down in the back of the end zone when he's playing that far off. Matty, give him the old throw behind.
We're just having a blast here, breaking this stuff down, looking at it. Jock and I are telestrating. And I'm telling you what, I'm going to telestrate for you. I'm just going to show you Danny McManus getting on track with his veteran receivers. Here we finally see moving the pocket a little bit, gives Calgary something to think about. There's Tony Aiken's first catch of the season. And then he just goes to Amerson on his back shoulder because free safety's coming inside. Malvo's over the top. Great recognition. 2 experienced guys. And then Tyree Davis gets a nice little rub for Amerson, and they're in the end zone. The Hamilton Tiger Cat, that looks like the Hamilton Tiger Cat's potential there. They got to live up to it in the fourth quarter here. And the offense is just going to roll.
But what does potential mean? It means you're not too good right now. Big problem in the kicking game for Hamilton, but let's take a look at how important the kicking game is. First, Wayne McGarity. This is one heck of a catch on a punt that was going out on the 4-yard line. Made a big difference in field position for the Calgary Stampeders. At the opposite end, watch right here. The returner reaches for the ball. He does not catch it first with his feet by positioning his hands where they should be. That is the difference.
Pressure mounts on the Hamilton Tiger Cats, who have yet to win a football game. As Schultze mentioned earlier, tough schedule ahead of them. Calgary wants to finish this deal as well. Let's see what we got in the fourth. John and Glenn.
Here are the numbers after 3 quarters, and McCullough is the big story for the Stampeders. 147 yards and 1 touchdown. Turnovers have been costly to the Tiger Cats. Hamilton has not lost a game to Calgary here at Ivor Wynn since October of 1998. And McCullough again to begin the fourth.
You know, and one name we haven't talked about when we have talked about McCullough is Marcus Spencer. And then that was a question in trying to stop the run with the Hamilton Tiger Cats and how he would fare in the middle of that defense. And you know, with Scott Coe out, Marcus Spencer at 225, he's got to rely on his defensive line now to occupy all the offensive lineman blocks so that he can just fly around. We haven't talked a lot about him because he's been late to a lot of those running plays.
A little light in the rear end to play middle linebacker. McCullough again on 2nd down and 2. And the spot will be important.
Well, and this is an example, and I'll show you what Marcus Spencer is trying to deal with. He's going to be hiding right in behind this upright and try to move here to try and help out in this run. Watch how he gets run out of there because of his size. Smaller, so he gets pushed way beyond the pile. Now, his teammates made the tackle on that particular play, but it's been difficult because of his size here. He just gets, Crysdale gets him a little push, and that pushes him 4 or 5 yards out of the hole.
Just enough. Saladin McCullough, a great CFL debut.
And it started bumpy.
A little fumble there first time he touched the ball. It's been smooth sailing ever since.
Well, I guess in some ways it could only go up, but it's gone way up for Saladin McCullough. And, you know, Jim Barker just smiled when he talked about him at the beginning of the game. Look at that.
Somehow he escaped.
John, that might have been his best run.
Monfort and finally getting the tackle on him, but he should have been stopped for a loss.
Well, yeah, and I know the Calgary fans loved the touchdown run, and that looked real pretty and all of that. But this is one of those tough ones. He's caught the screen pass, he's caught the little dump pass, showing some speed to the outside, showing some quickness in the middle. Great cutback. That's the pretty one. I know everyone loved that one. But that run he just had where he broke a couple of tackles and saved a 6-yard loss may have been his best.
26-yard touchdown as the Stampeders in front. Here's an error. Crandall won't get it away. Wrapped up by Tim Cheatwood.
Did Crandall take a peek? The downside of the shotgun formation. In the shotgun formation, the quarterback has to take his eyes off the coverage for a second to receive the football. And if he looks back up at coverage, if they move around, that's when these kind of things can happen. And Tim Cheatwood is now the sack leader for the Ticats because of it.
Second in the league coming in with 3 sacks, count number 4 there. League leader after 3 weeks of play, Joe Fleming of the Stampeders with 5. Best return of the night for the Tiger Cats on special teams. It belongs to Archie Amerson. 22 yards. And this place a little more lively as a result. The stories, the scores, and the highlights with these 2 good-looking guys, O'Toole and Detition, at the next edition of Sports Center on TSN when we're done, 11 o'clock Eastern tonight. First and 10, Tiger Cats approaching midfield. They'll begin this drive at the Hamilton 53, down by 3. Troy Davis takes a pounding and gets back to the line of scrimmage, and not much more. Aries Monroe was waiting.
You talk about the difference in the middle linebacker position. When we saw Marcus Spencer and some of his challenges, Elijah Johnson on that play flying over to Troy Davis. See how quickly he filled that hole strictly by instinct, playing 15 years at the middle linebacker spot for most of those 1,073 tackles.
And 42 quarterbacks plus 17 interceptions. Second and 10 for the Tiger Cats. McManus has to put it up. Looking deep. Tyree Davis can't make the catch. Coverage was solid. Anthony Pryor with Davis stride for stride.
Well, and you know, in fairness to Danny McManus on these deep balls, he really needs his receivers to win one of those battles. And because in 4 or 5 occasions now, McManus has gone to his receiver who's been covered well and said, okay, look, I see the coverage. I'm going to throw it up there, and you got to win this battle. You got to get up over the defensive back, catch the ball at the high point, and come down with it, because there's not very many times you are absolutely wide open in pro football.
Ticats go 2 and out for the 8th time this evening. McGarity set to take this. McGarity chased back inside the 10. Boy, the Tiger Cats special teams have played a lot better tonight.
They were read the riot act.
Come on, up, good.
Great. Now we have to set up the tent?
Hey, this is the new Easy Tent by Woods. I can set it up myself in seconds.
Just lay the tent out, then lift the center hub, and everything snaps into place. And push it down to lock.
The rainfly attaches easily, too, and its coating is water resistant.
Hurry, it's gonna come down!
The Woods Easy Tent, available in 3 sizes from only $99.99. Another innovative product found only at Canadian Tire stores and online.
Ready for a Stampeders sequence here. First down, Calgary at the 21. Stamps by 3. Good fake by Crandall. He'll take off himself, and maybe not.
Good decision.
Just to fire it into the Calgary bench there.
Saved him about 10 yards.
He was trapped, and some injuries to report on at the Tiger Cat bench. Claude?
Well, Wellesley, of course, Joe Montfort is back in there, but he looked a little bit shaken up on the previous play, tackling the running back McCullough. But of more of concern for the Ticats is safety Kyle Walters, who, of course, is already replacing all-star safety Rob Hitchcock. He left the game early in the 3rd quarter. An upper body injury is all we've been told. So Sandy Beveridge has stepped in to take his place, guys.
And that's why Crandall went with a little play action on that first play.
Beveridge, a raw rookie out of UBC. This is McCullough again. He'll get around the corner.
Oh, man.
And Beveridge makes a nice tackle at the 45, where he's gone.
Saladin McCullough has some great acceleration. Boy, he has a couple of different gears that haven't been seen. Of course, the Ticats have not seen him on film either, so they don't know about this acceleration. See how there's one gear, 3rd, 4th, and watch this little sprint.
That's overdrive?
Yeah, that's overdrive right as he busts through the hole, and he did that on the touchdown run as well.
Good for 27 yards.
Beveridge had to come up with a touchdown saving tackle.
That was a nice tackle. From the 48. The fake goes to McCullough. The pass goes to McDonald. Mathis making the tackle.
Crandall now has a golden opportunity for two reasons. One, he's got such a good running game established from Saladin McCullough that he can go to play action more. Now, it compounds because of the injury to safety Kyle Walters. Because if he's going to play action and Sandy Beveridge is going to get about 3 or 4, maybe 5 yards deeper because he's in his first game, that should open up the middle for Marcus Crandall a little bit more.
And here are the Stampeders already at the Ticats 49. Scott Dibert will have another first down. We talked about the week he had against the Ottawa Renegades. Over 100 yards rushing and receiving, and then the touchdown toss to cap it all off.
Lawrence Phillips was injured, and Scott Dibert just took the football and ran with it. And he, you know, literally, figuratively, and away he went. And you're right. Caught the ball in the backfield, and
watch the spiral here.
He had to take one, too. He got hit.
Well, maybe not a spiral.
Threw it over to Federick, and Federick got in the end zone. So he's got a touchdown pass on his resume.
First down, Stampeders. And nowhere for Dibert there. The other number 4, Marcus Spencer, making the tackle.
And he, you know, because of a game like he had, Scott Dibert now runs with confidence. This was a play a go, and you see the confidence. You know, when you're in your first couple of years, you haven't run the ball much. You may have gone down in that first contact, but he made the first guy miss, jumped to the outside, and picked up about 6-7 extra yards.
Stampeders have run the ball more effectively tonight. Second and a bunch. McDonald the catch. It'll be a huge first down for Calgary inside the 20. Mathis making the tackle again. So Crandall right on the money there.
And he goes down. Darnell McDonald, he goes after that injury situation. Now, Sandy Beveridge has not got very much experience, and he's going to back right out of there. And when he does, where do they attack? The soft spot. Beveridge is not going to break up on the ball in the right angle. You see him go wide and to the outside, and he doesn't give his defensive back any help in the middle of that field. Of course, the Calgary Stampeders are going to try and attack the middle and see how the young guy does.
A 22-yard gain. Stampeders just inside the Ticat 20 with a first down. Here's McCullough again. Broke 1, broke 2, and he's inside the 10.
Have the ball here, sir.
Troy Saunders, number 6 for the Tiger Cats. Making the tackle there.
He has been fun to watch tonight. And, you know, there was, go back to that injury situation, and last night in Ottawa, quarterback Dan Crowley has gotten, everyone's concerned about the Ottawa situation. Got a young guy coming in. We don't know anything about Kerry Joseph. He has a 350-yard night plus, and they love him now. And now same thing. Lawrence Phillips goes down. Saladin McCullough comes in, and Jim Barker looks like a genius.
He's got 200 yards so far tonight. Stampeders are threatening again. McCullough, hot from behind. Joe Montford got him. He's had enough of that.
Took matters into his own hands there. And he gambled to do it, because Montford right here has got to go to contain, but instead he says, you know what, I know where the ball's going. I'm just going to go right down the line of scrimmage, and I'm going to make the tackle myself. Don't think Marcus Crandall didn't notice that. Not many defensive ends can make that kind of play.
Nice drive going for the Stampeders. The big play is coming up right now. Second and goal to go. The ball at the Tiger Cat 7. Crandall looks to take off behind the intended receiver. He was looking for Ricky Lloyd, 81. So again, the Stampeders can't punch it in.
Yeah, they've had some opportunities in the red zone, and it should be more lopsided of a score than it is because of that. I mean, a couple of turnovers on special teams, but this is pressure that breaks this play down. Marcus Crandall wanted to attack the middle of the field. He couldn't do it because of the pressure coming up the middle, and here's where he wanted to go in that area in here, and you can see Darnell McDonald working to that area. He's pretty well covered by Dedrick Mathis, forced to the outside because of the pressure.
Stampeders came away with no points in close on the last sequence of the first half. They'll get 3 here. 3 more from Mark McLaughlin. But a good chance for Calgary to pick up 7 there. We've still got a game. It's Wendy's Friday Night Football from Iberwin in Hamilton. 6 points separating the Tiger Cats and the Stampeders. It's 17-11 with lots of time to go for Danny McManus at 5:29 remaining, 4th quarter. Tyree Davis to the near side. 5 receivers set for the Tiger Cats. Davis fell.
Well, Archie
he stumbled anyway.
Yeah, and they got to sort this out, and you could see Danny McManus waving to that side of the field. It was a combination pattern between Archie Amerson and Tyree Davis, and I believe that Danny McManus thought Tyree Davis was going to run a post pattern into the middle of the field with Archie Amerson underneath. It certainly didn't work out that way.
Ticats 2nd and 10. Trailing by 6. McManus to the far side. No flags on the coverage. Now one comes down a little bit later. Andrew English was the intended receiver.
Davis Sanchez says, I have no idea what the penalty is because it wasn't on me. It couldn't have been on me. They're going to call it on him.
Forward pass interference. Calgary number 2. First down.
And he's laughing at that one because, you know, the way they're calling it this way, and there's Davis Sanchez at the top of your screen. Just take a look, and the curl is run here by Andrew English. If defensive back beats to the ball, and folks, that is not pass interference.
He tried to go over top, didn't he?
Not in any league.
First down. McManus shovels it ahead. And it's well read by the Stampeder defense on first down.
Well, I mean, you tell me. I mean, if Davis Sanchez hits Andrew English in the back before the ball arrives, that's one thing. That curl comes down here. Now just take a look. He sees the ball. He's playing the ball. He comes up and over top without any contact and actually touches the ball first. Wow.
Gain of a couple for the Tiger Cats on the following play. This is 2nd and 8. Here comes the heat. McManus unloads. Amerson. Nice catch in front of Kelly Malvo. So this drive for the Tiger Cats continues. Amerson, a key player for Hamilton in the second half in particular.
You see how even though Kelly Malvo has inside position and gets a pretty good break on the ball, what Archie Amerson did was use his body to keep Malvo away.
Well, that's what you were talking about too, isn't it? A receiver going for the ball in a tight situation and making the catch.
Coming back to him, absolutely.
That's what Amerson did there. The gain is 16. McManus time again. A little high, and there's a penalty marker down one more time. McManus had an open target and missed.
But you're absolutely right, John. Going back to that Archie Amerson catch, you know, there has been tight coverage. Davis Sanchez, you know, was right on Andrew English. That was not interference. There has been tight coverage from this Calgary secondary, and for the most part, other than Archie Amerson.
Offside. Hamilton, number 87. Penalties declined. 2nd down.
Other than Archie Amerson, the Ticats haven't won a lot of those battles. Archie Amerson has won a few in this second half, and that last play was one of them, play before the penalty.
A 6-point game. Tiger Cats going against the wind and looking at 2nd and 10 here. McManus, the pump fake, and it's picked off, intercepted near the 30. Willie Fells kills this drive for the Tiger Cats.
Sometimes you got to play the play. Willie Fells knew they were going to Amerson, and he just slid right underneath them.
First interception that McManus has given up so far this season, but it's a costly one.
It's not often you fool the wily vet. Look at Willie Fells in the line of scrimmage. Danny McManus is not going to count him in the pass coverage because he thinks he's coming on the blitz. And then he drops out of there, covers a whole bunch of ground to the right of your screen, and is right underneath that pass. Tyree Davis was the intended target, but it was Archie Amerson down the seam that brought Willie Fells over there.
All the way, baby.
So here are the Stampeders with a 6-point lead and a first down on the turnover. Nice fake by Crandall. Nice toss for Scott Reginbald. Game story brought to you by Sport Check, Canada's largest sporting goods retailer.
And really, it could be this guy all game, but it's not because the game is still close. So all of those other factors come to play, including Archie Amerson and his 70 yards.
Danny McManus under 50%. 1 touchdown, 1 interception.
But certainly when you're generating 200 yards of offense, and the Calgary Stampeders, you know, have been up and down offensively, and it all goes back to the battles up front too. I mean, McCullough has shown some great ability in this game, but got to give a little credit to those big boys. And you know, Fred Childress, although Joe Mumford has been around, has started to work that matchup well with Joe Mumford, and especially when it, you know, when it involves the running game, because those boys up front have done a nice job opening some holes for Saladin McCullough.
So here are the Stampeders with an opportunity to continue the drive. Second down, less than a yard to go. And Crandall keeps, no flags anywhere. It'll be a first down, Calgary.
And this is when you want to be able to run the ball, when the Ticats know at least on first down you're going to run it. And if you're Jim Barker and you have a hot Saladin McCullough, you're in a perfect situation. You've got the lead by 6 points. You've got a running back who's hot, and you want to give it to him now because it takes more and more time off the clock as it runs down right now.
2:13 on the clock here at Ivor Wynne Stadium. First down, Stampeders. Marcus Crandall has McCullough, and he's got about 4 yards on the reception, caught by Sean Woodson. I think he might get a vote or two. This number 24. Don't forget to vote for the Rogers AT&T Wireless Player of the Game. To vote via the internet, CFL.ca, and to use text messaging on your cellular phone. Type in "Go CFL."
You know, there might be a couple of votes for H53 if you're on your text messaging, but I think C24 is going to get a few.
And here's C24 again. Ticat defense steps up with Chris Schelling making
it's a big
crucial tackle right there in a 6-point game. There's still hope for the Tiger Cats here.
Well, that's what Chris Schelling's tackle was. It was hope. It was hope for that offense and hope for the Ticats, who, let's remind everybody, are 0-3 to start the season. And that tackle by Chris Schelling, if Danny McManus can get a drive together, will be the one they look back on. Because Saladin McCullough was breaking that tackle, has been all game long. And the first or second tackler have not been able to bring him down. Schelling found a way to do it, and he gives his offense an opportunity.
Got to the ball carrier and held on. Chris Schelling, 1 sack, 2 tackles for losses on the season. And that's his biggest tackle so far in 2003. They've got Amerson back. He had a nice return last time.
For the sure hands as well. Remember, Larry Davis put one on the ground. 2 on the ground for Larry Davis.
So O'Mani for Calgary at his 40. And they throw flags immediately.
Right along the line of scrimmage, and it's inside of 5 yards. This will be interesting.
That was 3rd and less than 5 necessary. 3rd and 4 and a bit. So a critical penalty if it goes against the Tiger Cats here.
And I don't think it is, according to some of those Tiger Cats motioning the opposite way.
Procedure. Calgary, number 39. We're going to repeat third down.
So a sigh of relief at that Tiger Cat bench.
Well, and what they do is they back up, and they've got to get back there more than a yard, like a yard and a half along that line of scrimmage. They certainly do not want to be offside, especially when it was second or third and 4.
It's a 6-point game. Stampeders on top 17-11. Amerson waits back at his 10.
Way over on the far side of the field because he knows that Duncan O'Mahony is going to try and angle it to that side and try and get it out of bounds. So he wants to get a good run at it. See O'Mahony, there's way back in that corner. That's where O'Mahony's going to try and aim it, and that's why Archie Amerson hangs out way over there on the numbers. Now, if O'Mahony goes the opposite direction, he's got Archie Amerson in a dead flat.
A minute and a half to go. A 6-point game. And Archie Amerson gets his hands on the ball. Solid special teams work by Hassan Proherbs for the Calgary Stampeders. It's a long drive for the Tiger Cats. A quick look at the game story for Sport Check. The best value.
Saladin McCullough, 206 yards of offense, a touchdown. And this is his first game in the CFL, folks.
Not a bad beginning. Darnell McDonald, 104 yards. Danny McManus back in action.
Well, he's got another chance. Danny McManus and Archie Amerson, the bottom two on that game story, have a chance now to win it for Hamilton. Boy, do they need one.
McManus has Amerson. Kelly Malvo wrapped him up.
This is what any quarterback wants. A chance with the ball in his hand in the game within reach with enough time on the clock.
Do you think Dunnigan's sitting on the edge of his chair wishing he had this opportunity? He's got lots of time. That's an eternity, 119.
Oh, yeah, you don't want to sit beside Matty when this is happening because he's punching you and he's jumping up and down. And
McManus won't get it away. Wrapped up at the 30 on second down with 1:11 to go.
Well, he did get back to the line of scrimmage or pretty close, and that'll help him because they're playing 3-down football, and 3rd and 6 or 7 way easier than 3rd and 12. So McManus did work himself back towards the line of scrimmage. That pressure just broke down. That was Antoine Young.
Here's McManus looking for the first down. He'll get it.
Big catch.
Trevor Shaw, clutch catch. His first of the night.
Well, that's a biggie, though. Now they call the plays on the line of scrimmage. And Ron Lancaster on the bench makes sure he wants to get all the right receivers in the game.
Still a long way to go for these Tiger Cats. Down by 6. Just over a minute to play. McManus stands in. He has Akins. He's out near the 50. 54 seconds to go. George White making the stop there.
Right over here in your far left, that's Ron Lancaster Jr. Now he's going to have to rely on the veteran quarterback, Danny McManus, to call these plays. He's sort of out of the mix at this point. During the game, yeah, he's got tons of input, but now it's on the veteran. He's got to call him on the line.
Ticats driving. They need a touchdown to win. McManus put that where no one could get to it.
I'm telling you, there is a blanket on these receivers. Everything that the Ticats have caught, they have had to work for. And work for in a big way. McManus has had time. He's been back there looking. And that secondary for the Calgary Stampeders, with the exception of that one drive when I was talking about him,
well, the last time
they put a blanket on him.
Yeah, the last time you praised the Stampeders secondary, what happened?
Yeah, they got beat 4 times in a row. But they have put a blanket on these receivers in this game.
2nd and 10. 43 seconds unofficially on the stadium clock. McManus stands in. Not this time. One last play, and Sanchez.
Take a look at
should
this.
have had that.
Yeah, take a look at this coverage. David Sanchez almost hasn't even. Look at him. He's up and bump and run. He's aggressive. He's playing aggressively on Tyree Davis. Look at that. He is all in his kitchen. and almost has the interception.
So one last gasp for the Tiger Cats. 38 seconds to go. Lancaster has seen this a time or two.
Now they got to reach down. Danny McManus takes a look at the left side of that secondary in the huddle, because on the right side, Davis Sanchez just denying anything.
Here it is, 3rd and 10. Ticats. Last chance. McManus down the far side. Battle for it. Flags are down and the catch is made. Inbounds or not.
The flag came down. It looked like to me Davis Sanchez got pushed in the middle of the back as he went to jump for that ball, and he's signaling to you right now, folks. It's going the other way.
Tyree Davis made the catch. Davis Sanchez says the penalty will be on the Tiger Cats.
Let's take a look at the end of the play. Tyree Davis, there's the push right there, and down goes Sanchez. He got 2 hands in the middle of his back, and he couldn't jump up. It's right at the top of your screen, right down that sideline. Right here, Davis Sanchez going deep, and he gets pushed right.
Forward pass interference.
Now.
Hamilton, number 84, repeat 3rd down.
So they'll have to do it again. The crowd doesn't like it. Sanchez knew it right away, and so did I. When Sanchez went to jump up, he was pushed down with 2 hands from Tyree Davis. Again, step for step with the Ticat receiver.
Sanchez is calling a pretty good game so far tonight. 3rd down and 20 facing the Tiger Cats now. So one more last chance here.
Yeah.
But this is awfully difficult. 3rd down and way too many. McManus has Amerson. He'll get the 1st down.
Oh, yeah.
Inside the 50.
Talk about
Goes your guy. Amerson in front of Jason Bray. 21 yards.
Well, they played aggressively. The Stampeders came up and bump and run, and Archie Amerson got inside position on Jason Bray down the middle. What a clutch play from Amerson.
So new life for the Tiger Cats. 3 fresh downs, 27 seconds on the clock. Swinging it out of the backfield to Troy Davis for a couple. Fields up to make the tackle.
I think Ron Lancaster liked the choice from Danny McManus on the play to dump it to Troy Davis. He wants to go down the field with the football. McManus has 19 seconds now, and he's got to.
19 seconds and 49 yards to go. McManus missed there. And that was on Sanchez coming up with a play.
Well, Kelly Malville, Sanchez on the top of the field, shut down Amerson, John, you're right. And on the bottom, it was Malville on that ball as he dove across to knock it out of there. But again, blankets across the board. Now, on that 3rd and 20, they got up and played bump and run and played aggressively. See what they do now.
8 seconds to go, and this is another 3rd down.
2, maybe 3 plays for McManus if he goes quickly.
First, he has to get 9 for the 1st down. McManus stands up and delivers. A one-hopper, didn't miss by much, but that's it. Flag is down. Back in the Tiger Cat backfield with 2 seconds on the clock. And tempers flare at midfield.
Well, you know that this is a frustrated Ticat football team that just dropped to 0-4 and played way better than they have the first 3 weeks of the season, without question. McManus showed some rust early, came back hard, and they really didn't have an answer for Saladin McCullum.
Now that is the difference, isn't it? For the Ticats, Edmonton Wednesday, Saskatchewan Sunday. It's a tough week ahead. For the Stampeders, Montreal Saturday. That'll be an interesting game to say the least, as Jim Barker goes up against Don Matthews. Still sorting it out. 2 seconds on the clock. Stampeders with a 6-point advantage.
Saladin McCullough, a name I think we will get used to saying.
Barker knows he's won. The announcement not made yet. Here you
Major
go.
foul, rough play, disqualification. Hamilton, number 50. It's a dead ball foul. It's first down, Calgary.
Pascal Charon.
Well, game on the line. The secondary again for the Stampeders. Take a good look at him. McManus jumps up in the pocket. Pretty good coverage from Jason Bray underneath, and you know, it all works together. Good secondary usually means there's a pass rush somewhere along the way, and Joe Fleming, who we haven't talked about a lot tonight, but has quietly been Joe Fleming, which is pretty good.
Remember that football 101?
Yeah.
Watch my line. The backfield is secondary. Stampeders put together back-to-back victories, and the final score 17-11. Stampeders over the Tiger Cats.
Congratulations to Jim Barker's second win as the head coach of the Calgary Stampeders.
And how about Glenn's Gladiator tonight?
Well, I don't think there's any question. You know, honorable mention certainly will go to a couple of those guys in the secondary, but after a bumpy start for Saladin McCullough in his first game in the Canadian Football League, he shows he has all the moves to make it in the CFL, and what a game he put together. He is the Gladiator tonight.
He is the Gladiator, definitely. He may just be the player of the game for Rogers AT&T as well. That's C24, an outstanding beginning to his Canadian Football League career.
The Calgary Stampeders hang on at Ivor Wynne Stadium, get a 17-11 victory. They've now won 2 straight. They even their record at 2-2, which is crucial in the very difficult Western Division. And they're on a roll, and it looks like they got some guys to fill some holes. They got a little depth. Tonight we saw, well, the story was Saladin McCullough, Matty.
Yeah, he was everywhere, and Marcus Crandall used him effectively throughout the night, and he had what a great CFL debut. Another guy that stepped up big was another Barker boy in McDonald. He had 104 yards in the air. And other than that, those 3 guys, Crandall, McCullough, and McDonald, we saw Blair early. That was the Calgary offense, but it had 17 points on the board, and certainly field goal kicker Mark McLaughlin. He got the job done, so it was the M's tonight. It was McCullough, McDonald, McLaughlin. Try to say that 3 times. But, Jock, I'm in a situation where, you know, defense was key. We saw the secondary step up for the Calgary Stampeders. We saw A.J. and Willie Fells come up with big plays, and it was that type of ball game tonight.
What's a Barker boy?
Well, guys that Jim Barker had an association with before, prior to coming to the Calgary Stampeders. He knows they can play. He finds a spot for them. They get on the field and they produce.
Barker boy.
That's a fabulous Barker
Well,
boy.
one guy that's not a Barker boy is Danny McManus. Let me talk about his performance a little bit tonight. I mean, obviously you could expect the guy physically not to be as sharp. He hasn't played at all since the preseason, and even then, very little. But what I was a bit worried about was the fact that mentally he wasn't as sharp as I would have expected a guy of his experience. You saw it there at the end of the game. He's throwing the ball against Sanchez. Sanchez has proven to be one of the best one-on-one guys, not only all game, but all year. And yet, when the game's on the line, he's throwing against this guy. And I think that this is something that he needs to look at in terms of figuring out where his horses are. And I know that, now, you look at the receivers he had out there, we saw some of the visuals. Yeah. His guys weren't getting open. You just see a bunch of guys getting blanketed. Right. But if I'm going to throw the ball up against somebody, I'm not throwing it up against Davis Sanchez.
You know, the one thing you can't see in your television screen is the one-on-one battles between the receivers and the defensive backs on the line of scrimmage. And the few times we could see the big picture, really, Danny McManus did not get a lot of help. They missed Darren Flutie. They missed Andrew Gregg, no doubt about it. But this is a major league gut check time for the Hamilton Ticats. They got the game in Edmonton, the game in Saskatchewan. You got to ask yourself, are you prepared? Have you watched enough film? Are you, in terms of your head, do you have a good attitude? And are you emotionally ready to play football? Because this is the time of year where if they don't get it together quick, what did we say about the disasters?
You said it was a mini disaster.
And then the middle one, and then the big one.
It can snowball into a major disaster.
Real quick.
Yeah. Well, 0-4 is qualifying quickly, becoming a major disaster.
That's right.
And that game, by the way, against Edmonton is Wednesday, Saskatchewan Sunday, 3 games, 10 days.
Right.
Everybody goes through that with the CFL schedule. But when you're 0-4, that just becomes a more daunting task. Sanchez made some plays defensively. Willie Fells with a key interception late. And this guy with over 200 yards